And I think the only way that it's gonna work, a monogamous relationship, is when both of you guys are okay with being vulnerable with each other.
Right, and just let him cheat once a year for his birthday.
Unless she's with me.
Check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2. Miami on the Rocks, Casey Chopz. Make sure you follow us on that Instagram at MIA on the Rocks. Follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. 2021. It's not looking like a good start. I'm a little scared right now, but you know, I got Los Antonio in here from No Sleeping in the Trophy Room. I got Mel in here. Producer, visionary, been in the industry, been in the game for a long time. And you guys are a couple, yes. So I appreciate you guys pulling up.
Thank you for having us.
How are the vibes? How are the vibes?
I'm loving it. I'm loving the lighting in here. I'm loving that I'm staring at Scarface, Al Pacino right in front of me. I'm feeling the vibes. I'm feeling
People
the
come
energy.
in here and they think this is like a big place. We're in like a low key. We're in the projects right now. Don't get it twisted. It looks nice on camera, but this shit is fucking.
You're right in front of the Hard Rock. That's that good energy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's dangerous though for me. It's dangerous to live right there, bro. Like gambling, I was never a gambler until they built that shit, bro. Like it's the winning that fucks you up. It's not even the losing.
Right.
It's the winning that makes you a crackhead because you think you figured it out, but then, trust me. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Los. You're from New York, right?
Yep, I'm from New York. I'm from Long Island.
Okay.
And yeah, man. Shoot.
What's your nationality?
I am from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rican.
Yep.
Okay, I was gonna say Dominican.
He's Nuyorican though.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and Mel.
I'm Colombian. I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida. Born and raised, baby 561.
Okay, where in Colombia?
My family's from Bogota, but we have all transitioned to Medellin. So I have family both in Bogota and in Medellin.
Oh, okay, dope. This is the first year I haven't gone to Colombia in 5 years. I usually go like 3 times a year, and it's like
you're missing
with this
out.
COVID shit, like yeah. But tell me about your show, bro, because it's on Revolt, correct?
Yes, it is.
No Sleeping in the Trophy Room.
Yes,
and it's been making some noise. Can you kind of give us the rundown on that?
Definitely, man. It's a motivational conversation. I like to call it the biggest motivational conversation on Revolt TV, and it's a conversation. It's also a platform for motivation, education, where we share experience, truth. Where I sit down and I talk with entrepreneurs, thought leaders, people who are pushing the culture forward, behind the scenes. Dope. So, the foundation of where the show was founded was really inspired by conversations I was having with people during my tenure with Puff. My background is in working with Diddy for about 10 years. Still working with him now. And
can you get into that?
Yeah, for sure.
When did that start? Do your beginnings start with Diddy?
Yeah, okay, for sure. So I started as an intern back in like 2013. Around that time, I interned for about a year for about $20 a week.
Like just for Diddy or like a specific entity?
For his marketing agency called the Blue Flame Agency.
Okay.
And it was there where I kind of had free reign to the agency to learn different walks of the trade, whether it was experiential marketing, digital marketing, spirits, working with clothing brands, whatever it was. Sean Combs has a plethora of avenues, that he does business in. So I kind of had access to all of that as an intern, and I had a choice to kind of just work really hard in order to afford myself an opportunity to get a job. So it was there where I got hip to the game of marketing for spirits, marketing for brands, marketing for celebrities.
So how is it working with Puff? Like, how would you describe his demeanor, his personality? Is he,
Man, honestly, I would describe it just like a university, man. Some people call it bad boy university, where you just really kind of, you get the opportunity to soak up so much information, and it's really on you what you do with it. Some people take it and leave. Some people take it to the next level. Some people take it and crack like an egg. So, for me, I saw an opportunity, right? Because this man always had cameras around him. So I saw an opportunity early to come in and manage the content, manage the shooters, manage, the whole social media thing. So during my, my internship, I was soaking up game on just how manage social media for brands. Or something about social media. You know, this is like when Vine first started and Vine first went away and Instagram first started. So, you know, it was back then when I saw how powerful social media for business was. And then I started looking at Puff, you know, and every time he came into the building, it was just so much mass hysteria, and man had cameras all around him. But there was nobody really managing that process. So I saw an opportunity and I went for it. And I kind of just identified some creatives, other shooters that, you know, we could bring to the table. And, you know, I kind of forced my hand into an opportunity. And I moved to LA. And, you know, created a team, and that team kind of just really did some great work. And, you know, I live by the phrase, you know, I could show you way better than I could tell you. So it's just more like, you know, we really did some great work for him, for his brands. And, you know, that kind of just...
and here you are.
So you were focusing on the marketing aspect of it.
Yes.
What made you want to get into, like, in front of the camera and start doing your own thing?
I think it was because just the conversations that I was having behind closed doors, I was like, man, like nobody's ever going to know
this was recorded right now. Like,
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And because, you know, say we're having this conversation, but you got somewhere to go, I got somewhere to go, and we're never going to, nobody's ever going to hear this. So, you know, once I found myself with a little bit more time on my hands to develop this idea, that's exactly what I did. And, you know, that show I put out an episode a month for a year straight. Nobody cared what it was at that time, but you know, through being consistent.
I tell people all the time.
Yeah,
like,
you have to make people care about what you're trying to do.
Right.
So, you know, that conversation to me, no sleeping in the trophy room, is more than just the name of the show. It's my life. I live and breathe that. And it's less about not getting sleep, more about just keeping your eyes open when opportunities aren't, you know, in front of you.
okay, because you're not team no sleep, right?
Yeah,
I be telling people like, yo,
No,
I'm
he
team
likes to
sleep.
sleep.
I like to sleep. I wake up early, but I do
Okay.
get my rest.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't play with the team no sleep.
Yeah, nah, man, you gotta get your rest.
Team no sleep, we don't fuck with y'all. It's not cool anymore in 2021.
You need health
Nah,
and
man.
rest.
But yeah, that right there is, you know, that's the foundation of the show, and you know, inspired by my tenure with Puff, but rooted in the conversations that were less heard because people were behind the scenes. And you know, it's all about motivation, sharing gems, and both sides of the truth, the good and the bad, what you should know before you get into this thing. And you know, what you should know about the, you know, upsides, downsides, every side, man. And you know, sharing the information. You know, sometimes some people like hog information and they don't want to share because they feel like they want to stay in that spot. But guess what? You know, nobody.
Someone else's success is not a threat to your success.
Exactly.
People think.
Right.
Yeah, man.
You know?
And that's the vibe I'm on. So, you know,
That's
we're
what's
getting
up.
ready to drop 8 new episodes in 2 weeks. We're going hand for 2 months straight. Every week dropping a new episode on Revolt TV. Super excited.
Can you
about
talk? Can you talk about some of the guests that you've? So, is this like a new season? Are you promoting it as like a new season?
Yep.
So this is season 2.
that. This is season 2.
So who are some of the people you had on the first season?
So I had my boy Kaito, who is an amazing cinematographer, director. You know, he has a great story. I had another good friend of mine. His name is KOS. He's just a creative individual out of Harlem, super dope and authentic. I had trying to think about the oldest season, man.
You had Joe K on there?
Yeah, we had Joe K from Selection. He's a co-founder of Selection Global Music Creative Imprint. Super dope. Who else we had, man?
Can you tease anybody that you got coming up?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. We got I got Jesse Terrero.
He's dope. See, out of all the people you just mentioned, I know him.
Yeah.
He's dope.
Yeah, I got Jesse Terrero. I got DJ Charisma. I got Jorge Peniche, who was Nipsey Hussle's creative director, photographer. I got these dope guys out of Uptown called We Run Uptown. They're a running crew, based out of the Bronx and Dykeman, and you know they're changing the face of what a healthy lifestyle looks like in Black and Brown communities, and that's a narrative that I wanted to really amplify with this season. I'm also talking with a good friend of mine named Chef Kelvin, who's a chef, also from the Heights, and he's cooking for J-Lo, A-Rod, Kim Kardashian. just another person who's changing the narrative for people who look and sound like us. And also these amazing guys from they're
Bike Rides for Black Lives.
Bike Rides for Black Lives. I got Naj, Tyler, Lanny Smith, and Tori. They put together a really dope bike ride in LA, in New York, in DC.
Everyone turned into a biker, bro. I'm a biker now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I didn't go to like the tights yet, you know what I mean? But like I'm a biker now.
Yeah.
You gotta go there.
We gotta get aerodynamic when we get
Yeah. Like I'm seeing like people I never like hip hop, I'm not gonna mention any names, but I see like hip hop, veterans and legends that I grew up, whether the DJs or whatever, and all of a sudden I'm seeing them in crazy tight bike helmets and shit. I'm like, yo, this is like a different look for me. Like,
hey, brother, I could vouch. I just started getting with the short shorts not too long ago.
I love it.
Now I'm showing my knees all 2021. I'm showing my knees and my ankles
you,
all. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, Jim. I'm with you, man. It's more aerodynamic. We got to get to where we got to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So Mel, I've known you for what, like maybe 2 years? 2 years.
I would say 2.
I met you at where did I meet you at? I met you at Lisa's, the all white party,
all-white
right?
Party. Yep.
So what? I feel like you're all over the place, right? You connect dots and your network is heavy. You've been moving and shaking in the Miami industry for a minute. What got you into it? What?
Okay, so I started about 7 or 8 years ago. I lost my cousin. I always tell the story at the beginning of that story because that's what inspired me. When I lost my cousin, her name is Ingrid. She's my sister, pretty much. It taught me that I needed to exist versus live. I played soccer in college. I've always been, I would say, I've always been doing my thing, but I didn't discover who I really was and my passion until I lost my cousin because it really made me think a little deeper. And so I started hosting. I met Golden Boy, Javi.
Shout out to Javi, have him on too.
Love him, that's my boy. And he put me in place to host whenever I want. I didn't have to promote, I didn't have to be on the flyers.
Which is like the Dream era?
Dream,
Ivy.
it was Mansion, it was Dream, it was Ivy, it was all that era. And he was like, whenever you want, Mel, I know you're gonna bring beautiful women out, good energy. I know you're gonna bring me tables, I know you're gonna bring money, so whenever you want, you're good. So I started doing that, and in 6 months I built a pretty nice network. And one night I was out and I just saw a group of girls and they were spreading a message that I kind of wasn't okay with. And
at the club?
Yeah. Well, at the club and online. And
it's crazy that I could take a wild guess, and I wonder if I'm like gonna get this right. I'll bleep it out. I'll bleep it out. I'm just gonna take a half court shot. Taz's Angels?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm really good friends with now, who was a part of Taz's Angels, and I know she's comfortable with me speaking about this, but I told her recently she inspired me because of the transition she's made now, and it takes a lot to overcome what she's overcome. So, but we were out one night, and long story short, it just inspired me to create a platform / movement for women like myself who we're fly, we're sexy, we know the athletes, we know the promoters, we know everybody, we're on point, but we wanted to provide a different message for women. And so I started my first brand. It was called Live Vivacious, and it means to always live forward and always just kind of go and strive for the better version of yourself. And through that, I discovered that I really liked campaigning, and I really liked producing photo shoots, and I really liked just creating. And so because I was independent, nobody funded me, I had to end up just collaborating with people, but people loved working with me. So little by little, people started hearing about me, and I just got in the hands of big directors like E. Rivera and Kid Art, and I started producing videos. And one of my first videos was Kent Jones. She said, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?"
Don't mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that day I made a nice amount of money. I casted the girls. I was production manager for the girls in the cast. I booked the house, and I went home and I was like, "Oh my God, this was awesome."
I really just did all this shit.
Yeah, it was really dope. And then I put my glasses in the because my brand, we started off by selling sunglasses and producing campaigns with sunglasses, and it was all about your vision, And so things made sense for me at that point, and I just went with it. And I literally I was blessed with a full ride to Northwood University for playing soccer, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. You know, I was young. I was just in school just to play ball, to be honest. And my degree was in marketing management, but I really had no idea, you know? So it wasn't until, again, I lost my cousin and I started that brand that really pushed me to just go with it and just, you know, just learn as I go. And here I am.
If there's one thing, like, and I feel like your story like exemplifies that. If there's one thing to invest in right now, I tell people it's women.
Yes.
Like, women empowerment is like.
But you got to really be about it.
Yeah.
But you got to really be about it, because I feel like that was very trendy at some point. Women empowerment was like a trend, like many things are nowadays. And so you remove me from the industry and you remove me from Instagram and all of that. Like, I'm really about it. Since I was a little girl, I know that my purpose in life is to nurture people, and people above me, people below me, people older than me, people younger than me. I know that is genuinely my purpose in life. And so I know that has really headed what I do in any realm, whether it's producing, whether it's being someone's friend, whether it's, you know, starting a campaign or collaborating with someone. I always make sure that it has something to do with what I'm about and my purpose. Is
there like a niche that you're focusing on this year, or is it kind of just like move and shake and just kind of connect dots in all realms and kind of just see?
No, this year I'm really focused. This year it's all about consistency. Consistent people, consistent relationships, people that truly value me, people that truly hold me in a place where I feel like, okay, I feel comfortable.
But is it like in the video production side, or is it like what are you going to focus on? What?
I'm focusing on music and on making money.
That's a good word.
The 1-2.
Yeah. Shit. So, Los, you said from off camera, you said you're from New York, but you're moving down here.
Yeah.
What makes you want to do that?
Man, I mean, outside of Mel, I mean, you know, I've been coming out here for years, you know, but just partying and just turning up. But, you know, recently I've been coming out here to live and stay and spending more time and more time. And man, you know, I really fell in love with just the quality of life. You know, I lived in LA for like 4 years.
Oh, okay. And, so you've had that vibe already.
Yeah, man. And, you know, there's just something out here that I feel like I haven't conquered, you know, outside of turning up. I know where to get lit at for sure. But, you know, but the thing is, like, you
got to be careful. I tell people all the time, if you come here, like whether you're an artist and you come here to work on an album, whatever it is, you could either come out with a classic or come out a crackhead. Like, you could be, like, the Miami shit could really, like.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah, and all the New Yorkers that I talk to that come over here, and they always say, you know, when they move here, they say, then they tell all their other friends in New York, they're like, yo, come over here, but be careful because the speed is so much slower that it's easy for you to fall into a trap of getting too, you know what I mean, like too comfortable. And
yeah, for sure. And you know, I have a good network out here, and you know, when I add Mel's, it's even better. And it's just you know, it's just a place I feel like I haven't conquered yet, as far as just, you know, and it's also a place I feel like I'm about to set up some real good foundation and just a mountain to pitch from.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And I'm excited to do that, man. So we've been doing some apartment hunting, and we about to lock something in.
Yeah, you guys looking in Miami, Broward, Eat by the Water,
probably like Hollywood,
Hollandale
you know,
Beach.
like right here. Like,
okay, like in the middle. That's perfect. Like,
man, I like to be by the ocean, you know, and
far enough but close enough.
Yeah,
you know?
I like to be out the way from the
mix. See, I'm different, bro. I'm trying to move into the mix. Like, I'm trying to move into the shit. And you said you were from Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And all your family's in Palm Beach still?
Yep.
So yeah, it's
born and raised, but I travel a lot because of work. So
got you.
I spent 2.5 years on the road, just pretty much living out of a suitcase. I was contracted for Jeezy's TM104 album. And
that's right. That's where
and that's where Los and I started dating, because he, for the music portion of everything, he had me in LA for 8 months, and so that's where we were able to connect.
We even worked on the same video, which is kind of crazy.
Like without knowing?
Without knowing. We worked on the Jeezy Diddy Bottles Up video.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, the set she was working, I wasn't at. And the scenes I was working, she wasn't at.
Got you.
And the last scene was at Live, and you can't see anybody at Live. So
I didn't go to Live. You know I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So you definitely had Jeezy against Gucci, right? Like Jeezy was your pick.
Absolutely.
Me
absolutely.
Too.
Oh man, you
not because I work with
battle, dude.
Yeah,
she was going.
It's like the Super Bowl and shit, like yelling at the screen.
Yeah, I had my Jeezy shirt on.
She had her own screen. I was like, man, and we had the Jeezy merch at the crib. And
Yeah.
no, it was great, man. But I could tell she had an extra battery.
Yeah.
How was it working with Jeezy?
It was awesome. It was a great learning experience. I've always worked with independent artists. Aside from when I work with big directors, I've always worked with independent artists. So working with Jeezy, it was really dope to see what a budget can do and what resources can do, because he had obviously a lot of ins everywhere. So I definitely soaked in as much as possible. I love that Jeezy and I were friends before I started the project, and so it created just like a freedom between each other. I led his creative team, and I produced basically all of the content for Rollout. I produced 2 or 3 videos for him, and I was able to like kind of push him out of his comfort zone because he trusted me, you know? So it was a really cool experience to be able to experience that side of Jeezy, because I've always seen the Jeezy, you know what I'm saying, from Atlanta, like, I don't crack a smile.
We can't sell cocaine anymore, Jeezy. It's 2020. Like,
Nah, but he's so talented. It was really amazing to see him in the studio and like growing up on Jeezy and like just seeing the way he cut songs and just seeing how amazingly talented and effortless he was once he was in the studio. It really created like a movement for me. Like that's why now I'm in the music aspect of it. I've created a production team, just inspired off of that whole process that I was able to experience while I was working on the TM104 project. So it's definitely a blessing, and it was a hell of an experience. It was 2 years long, and I would do it all over again.
That's dope. That's dope. I'm excited right now for Miami, because I feel like Miami it has so much potential right now, because I tell people it's the LA of the Latin scene right now. Like we're just in the beginnings of it feels like LA for Latin music right now, you know?
Yes.
And you know, whether you know, the Latin streaming is like taking over English streaming right now. Give it a couple more years and it's gonna like
I was on YouTube the other day, and I just hit top 100 videos, and it was Latin music, it was Arab music, and it was pop. So it was like your Justin Bieber's, your Ariana Grande's, and then it was like your Karol G's, J Balvin's, and I don't know the Arab music, but it was them, they were like almost overpowering them. I was like, oh my god, I would like to learn about that too, you know. But I'm excited for Miami as well, and any artists that I work with now, especially if they're Latin, I'm like, you got to get out here. So I'm just grateful for that, and I'm grateful that I've been able to create a team. We're called Good Vibes, Good Music, and we're producing for artists in the industry, and again, mainly focusing on women and creating a safe space for them to create music and feel safe in, and understand that we're not going to come up over you. We're very equal in what we do, and so I'm very excited for Miami and for what is happening for myself. GVGM, baby.
We here in Miami on the rocks. Casey, Chopz, Los. Tell people where they can follow you. You know,
man. You can definitely check me out on IG at Los Antonio, LOSANTOINO, and if you want to check out my Facebook, check out my government cheese.
Facebook rocket.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm afraid to go on Facebook, bro. I'm afraid to go on Facebook, especially after that the fake revolution that just tried to happen. I'm afraid to see what they're talking about over there.
But definitely on Instagram. Los Antonio, LOSANTOINO, man. Check me out.
Dope.
We just, speaking of Facebook, we just became official relationship.
Oh, it's fucking lit.
2 years later.
Shit.
It took 2 years for us to get here, man. Dude.
Damn,
Feels good to be here.
That's important.
Yo, I had aunts, uncles, everybody was just like, yo, word.
It's fucking real now, man. Facebook is a scary place. Once you realize like your
my
family
aunt was
over
like, she's super Colombian. She's like, why are they just now Facebook relationship? I'm like,
nah, but she thought we were like really just. She was like, wait, did y'all just start like? Did you guys just make it official? And
funny.
We had to like have a whole explanation, team meeting. Yeah, so you know, it ain't really
how long have you guys been together?
Like 2.5 years, I think. 2.5.
And where'd you guys meet?
At a Diddy party.
Yeah,
at the Delilah.
How did he approach you? What was his game like?
He didn't approach me.
Did he come with
It's a great one.
I don't think y'all want this story.
Was it in person?
Give it to him.
Or was it like a DM and then he hit you with like a fire emoji?
I don't know. The story is kind of
great.
I don't think we can say it yet, babe. I think we need that for our own interview. It's a long story.
I slid in the DMs. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I slid in the DMs. And I saw her working. She was like on her laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Wow, this is really great to see. You know, women still working
Mm-hmm.
and putting in some work, and you looking like a stand-up, honest, hard-working female."
She's not looking like all these other females that are out here.
You know,
Everything
she was
is-
in the crib in workout clothes, looking like she was getting to it, and I could relate.
Yeah.
So that was my DM, and then it was probably like the next week or so.
What was the DM though?
Oh man, I wish I could pull it up. This is like 2
It
years.
was-
I would have to scroll for a minute.
He literally
But I was
said that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I was like, "Yo, it's good to see, you know, women
He's
still
like,
out
if I can help you with anything, we can meet up. You know, I'll share my
Cool, that's
spreadsheets
perfect.
with you. I'll share, you know, whatever you need. I got you. I'm like, okay, cool.
perfect.
And that's still true.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You know what I'm
It really
saying?
is.
That's perfect.
It's really
But
dope.
Yeah, and then you know she was doing like some mimosa Sundays like the next week, and I was like, wow, I really like mimosas too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and the
word.
next thing I know, she was like, wow, you should come through. And then
In LA?
yeah,
Yeah.
in LA, yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
And then I pulled up and we drank mimosas all day. And
For 7 hours.
Yeah, and we danced salsa. We probably threw on every record we ever listened to.
That's fire.
And I showed you my decks, and you were impressed.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, you're what?
My decks.
Yeah.
I was creating like treatment plans and decks for the Jeezy project, and
Yeah, she had to
Yeah.
flex on me. She was like, "Yo, I really am about this work. Put the mimosas to the side. I'm about this work." And I was like, "All right, no doubt."
That's
Yeah.
But yeah, you know,
See, I feel like
shoot or shoot. We got to get in there.
That's a fact. I feel like it's better to get the Instagram now than to get the phone number. You know what I mean? Especially if you're working, and then you kind of like see what each other's vibe is like before you decide you want to.
Yeah, you see the
Yeah.
portfolio. It's the highlights. The
Yeah.
highlights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
What you working with?
yeah.
that's crazy.
What you working with?
So we got the new episodes, No Sleeping in the Trophy Room, drop.
Yes, brother.
When does that drop?
Man, it's about to drop in about, I would say, 2.5 weeks.
And you're
Well,
gonna drop once a month.
Once a week for 8
Every
weeks
Monday.
straight. Yeah, every Monday. I'm owning
Fire.
Motivational Mondays on Revolt TV.
10
Dropping
o'clock.
a new episode every week, televised nationally on Revolt TV.
Dope.
Dude, I've been holding my breath for like 5 months, dude.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
your approach is interesting because I'm using the influencer word curate. You
Yeah.
curated all
No,
the
we curating, for sure.
Yeah, you
We
curated
curating.
all the content and then you're gonna roll it out.
Yeah.
It's not like you.
Yeah.
You
It's
know
a
what I mean?
process.
Yeah, because the overall message, man, I had to, you know, people deserve more in 2020, you know, and just I say 2020 because that's when I was, you know, recording, but we're 2021 now, but things just 2021 changed the whole vibe, changed the whole energy. People needed more substance, you know. Before COVID hit, everything was like, yo, we outside, but now it's like we got to be outside for a purpose, bro.
Yeah,
Like we got to. Why are you outside?
Yeah, because now you can't be outside, so people are stuck inside. And what are you doing with your time inside? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, my boy in Colombia was telling me, he was telling me this was back during the summer. He's like, the thing is, with you guys in the United States in your country, you're just taught to look outward on the next bigger crib, the next whip, the next career move, but you guys don't know how to look inward and like really understand yourself. So people were forced to like really sit with themselves and work on personal things. This was the first, you know what I mean? And a lot of people lose their mind. They can't.
Yeah, they can't hang out with themselves.
Right. That's called solitary confinement. They punish you in jail for that
real.
shit. Like, you know, I tried to learn how to sit by myself in a room and not get anxiety. It hit me because I'm a DJ. I work in the nightlife. So,
Right.
like, you take away the nightlife from me, you took away, like, my life.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had to really, like, get my mind right as far as that goes. You weren't affected by it at all? Like, when...
Man, you know what's crazy? The pandemic actually, I mean, it took money out my pocket for sure. And, you know, I lost a few side bags. I lost a few things like everybody else. But, you know, in the nature of what I do as far as media, it turned me up because, you know, I was actually slated to drop the first season, like right when the pandemic hit, say I was supposed to drop it. I had to drop everything like early. And then after that, it just I started doing a bunch of stuff, bunch of like online interviews, bunch of Zoom stuff, and you know, it just activated my whole situation early because media just became like a frenzy. Everybody was doing interviews, right?
Right. Everyone was online doing online content.
Yeah, so, you know, and at Revolt, you know, it was just a need, just an uptick immediately. We needed more content. So if anything, it kind of just turned me up, which was a good thing, but it definitely just kind of made me realize, yeah, like, yo, if we're gonna put something out, it needs to be of substance. It needs to help people.
It's got to cut through all the shit that's out there. Everybody's
man, because there's so much going on, and it's like
so much noise. You can't.
I'm not a person that I don't really do the like, the bubblegum bullshit. I won't sell you something I won't try. I won't do something that I won't. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I won't put something out that won't help you, that won't motivate you, that you won't walk away from like, okay, bet, like this was great. So, it just put a big emphasis on my why.
Yeah.
And what about you, Mel? You because a lot of
shut down for me.
I was gonna say a lot of things you do, like me, like we make money off people, like groups of people. So
yeah, it shut down for me, and I'll try to say it was like a crazy moment for me, or like I felt like everything was going wrong for me, but then Los will bring me back and he'll be like, you're exactly where you need to be. I was able to work on my brand. My new brand is called Eres Diosa. It means
you want to plug that shit? You got the IG?
Yes, Eres Diosa. It is ERES.Diosa.
For all my fellow gringos, that means you are a goddess.
Yes,
So
DIOSA. You are a goddess. So it is a platform for women. Again, it's exactly what I wanted to do with Live Vivacious, and I put that on hold. But I feel like Los actually inspired me to start it, and so I was able to focus on that and my campaigning for that and my branding for that, and I was able to produce my first campaign throughout the pandemic. And so, but while we were going through it, Los got stuck here from New York, and we would have moments where we're in my car in the trunk drinking wine, drinking weed.
We're
cutting this thing. This is a lot.
They got weed drinks now. So
you drinking weed and all that.
Drinking wine, listening to music, and we're just like, listen, we are truly what the world needs right now. We live it, we breathe it, we are that. We're authentic, we're true to ourselves, we're true to anything that we do, anybody that we are aligned with. And so this moment is big for us. And so we were able to sit back in that feeling and sit back and kind of map everything that we wanted to bring to life, So although my money was shut down, my thoughts and my alignment was completely just there for me, because I'm so used to living out of a bag. I'm so used to never being home. I'm so used to being in the air more than I'm used to being here and like stable and like in my space. So
in your bubble of comfort, because that's what I say about me too. Like I wouldn't have restarted my podcast if it wasn't for the pandemic. It pushed you out of your you know what I mean?
Willie Dade is here.
What's up, bro? What's up?
Here to take pictures.
In the building.
Yo, I've followed you. Like we follow each other on IG for like 5 years. Yo, welcome to my crib, bro.
Yes.
He's
amazing.
Yeah, shout Willie Dade.
Yeah. Last touch on that is we realized that consistency. We realized that consistency is what we needed to focus on in 2021, because everything consistent is what again makes you feel whole. And so consistent people around you, the consistent work around you, the things that make you feel happy consistently. And I feel that when I'm with Los, and it actually brought us even closer than we were before. And so
because I mean there was
struggle
really
brings you closer.
There was really nothing else to focus on at that point in time except yourself, ourselves. And nobody knew what was going on. You know what I'm saying? That was
uncertainty. You had to learn how to be comfortable with uncertainty. Like that was one thing with me that I've been working on in the past 2 years. Is like we're human beings. Just be cool with uncertainty and give it to God, whatever you believe in. But put your faith in something and just breathe easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there something? Is there something individually that you guys learned about yourself? Outside of work in your career.
During that time, I mean.
It could be now. I mean, just in this pandemic shit.
I learned that I like stability. I learned that I'm ready for a family. I learned that I'm ready to get married. I learned a lot of things that I never really was ready for, and having my partner with me. I
want to salute that, because I feel like a lot of women, they're under the impression that men ain't shit.
Yeah.
All men are fuckboys, and I don't say that. I just say that's the men that you're choosing. That's your selection.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I believe there's a scarcity in men nowadays, but I have hope in men, And I feel like I have hope in the idea of a relationship and a healthy relationship nowadays because of the pandemic. Because in order to make it through that, you have to be positive and you have to be healthy and you have to not be toxic and you have to learn and unlearn and you have to face yourself. And so I believe, I always tell my friends who are single, there's hope. And look at Los and I as an example, because
and we ain't perfect, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I like how you guys you lead with your relationship on social media, because it gives people hope, because people think it's hopeless out here, especially women think. What is it about Los that separated him from from a guy? Maybe all the other guys that maybe they would just tell you what you wanted to hear. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. So I was single for 4 years before Los because of that, and I wasn't settling. I'm 35. I've never been married. I've never had children. But I very much want that. And I promised myself that I would never settle and that I would really stick to what made me happy. And what would make me happy would be a man that obviously loyalty and all the things that are given, right? But in our generation, those are they're like applauded, but those things are given. Like, you're supposed to be loyal in a relationship. You're supposed to be a good man. You're supposed to, provide these things that just come with being in a relationship. Right. But what stuck him apart was that he was progressive and he wasn't perfect. What do you mean by that? It means that when I would communicate with him, because usually it takes for a woman to help a man. It takes for women to educate our men, right? Because usually a man grows up, he grows up without the understanding of communication. He grows up with, you fall, you get up, you can't cry, you can't feel emotion, So it's on us as women to lead them to feel that emotion, to make
allow them to be vulnerable.
Yes. Yes, to help them communicate and to help them become that better version of themselves as men and be like, I got you, like, don't worry, like, So when Los and I first started dating, he was in a situation where I knew I had to pull back as his girlfriend and I had to become more of his friend /
therapist.
Yes, not therapist, but like I just had to see him as like
definitely therapist.
Like you were like an outlet for him to like get his shit off. Like,
right. And so
without judgment, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because it's one thing to like make a mistake and have somebody over you like you're not supposed to do that. But us as men, like we know how it is where your
pride.
It's very much heavy, pride, man. And a lot of men walk around with pride, but not because they're prideful. It's because of what they learn as a child. So they never learn. So your ego, it protects you.
Damn, are you really a therapist? Like, no. You get into like therapist talk right now.
For sure.
It protects you, and so you use that as your weapon. And then like you might meet a girl that's lovely, and you might not even take that opportunity to really
get to know her.
Yeah, or like unravel that relationship because you're so wrapped up in your emotions. But I would have moments with Los where I'll be like, listen, this isn't about us. I want to make sure you're good. Whatever you're going through, like, don't think about me. Like, I want you to feel okay in your circumstance right now and know that God has you and whoever your higher power is, because I'm very spiritual. I'm not religious.
Likewise.
Yeah. And so, but I made sure that I made him feel comfortable in knowing that no matter where you're at in life, you have people that support you and want to see you win and that love you. And you got to love yourself to realize that. And so what's stuck him apart from other men was that he wasn't afraid to be vulnerable with me, and he had his moments, but then he would progress easily. So when a man is progressive, that's very important and key to me as a woman, because that means he wants to be there with me, and that means he wants to progress on his own, obviously as an individual, but he wants to align with who. And so I always say that when someone loves you and they show up to love you every day, that's the person you need to stand by.
Got you. So that was going to be my next question for you is, because you're an example, a lot of women look to you and they see you on social media like, oh, I wish I had that. So what would you tell women to look for? Because it's a lot of men are faking it, right? They tell you everything you want to hear.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what are some things that some advice you can offer to women, as far as the beginnings when you're getting to know somebody? What are the red flags? What is something that you're like, he's different? What are some things, you know what I mean? Like, what can you offer advice to women? Like
patience.
Got you.
Patience, and again, if he's progressing and he's making a difference and every time gets better, that doesn't mean you have to be in a toxic relationship for a year or 2 years. Like the other day I posted the fabulous caption that everybody posted, where he was talking about, you know, in our generation, we're taught to not love women and stuff.
That caption was fire.
Amazing, right?
But then I have to go look, you know, whatever. I'm not going to bring it. I'll edit this out because, you know.
No, you don't have to edit it out because a lot of people posted a negative aspect to it. Oh, you shouldn't have to go through a toxic relationship. You shouldn't have to be cheated on. I agree with that. You should not have to ever endure any of those type of emotions, right? But nothing's ever going to be perfect. Right? And I'm not perfect. Los is not perfect. So as long as you're able to mirror each other and you're able to communicate and the man receives it, because usually 90% of the time, women are just more communicative. We're born nurturers. We give life. You know what I'm saying? So it's natural. It's a trait that God gives us or that we're gifted with, right? And so if we don't educate our men, then we're never going to get to the next step. So the reason why Los and I did so well was because he was like, I'm for it. You're challenging me. I'm stepping up to the plate. Like, I want to understand what you're telling me. And so he showed up.
So Los, what? Now let's flip it to the man talk right now. What was it? What was it about? And maybe I'm too picky too. That's another thing.
Right.
Picky's okay though.
Nah, man. I mean, to be honest, it's funny. We were just talking about this the other day. Actually, Mel was the first person that I dealt with that just wasn't going for it.
What do you mean?
Like, I was single for years, and when you're in the
industry and you're single, it's fun to be single when you're in the industry. So to get in a relationship, the person has to be like super special. Like,
yeah, and you also when you're single in the industry, it's like the jungle. There's no rules. You can swing from the tree, swing from the vine, jump from the ground, whatever you got to do. Yeah. And, and I was doing those things with, or at least tried to. And Mel came through and she was like, yo, I'm not going for this shit. And,
what you trying to do? Like invited to the club?
No, like I think I would just do like the normal, like just single guy, bravado, just catch an attitude and just try to dismiss or, or just have my way. And you know what I'm saying? And she would just be like, yo, you going to treat me like this? Like me? And it's like, and mind you, this is like day 2, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and the thing is, it's just more like that. That showed me that she was somebody that...
She respected herself.
Yes. And then it made me question myself, where I'm like...
Damn, I'm
what's going on with me right now that I'm not respecting? So it's more like she really made me think about myself and how I was acting and how I was reacting. So, at that point in time when, I was probably in full savage mode, not thinking about anything... It's a task in itself to make somebody kind of think about think things differently, and I mean you work in nightlife, so it's very easy to kind of like just not have any feelings towards anything or just kind of just turn the page, but she made me want to just think things through a little bit more and think about why, and she had great points early.
Got you. She's Colombian. Did she cook for you? That probably won you over too.
Yeah, she definitely came through. Yeah, she came through. Yeah, she came. That was like day 3. She came through. Yeah. And I had a roommate, so my roommate was like, "Yo, Lo, she could really cook, bro. You might want to like stop fucking around."
I got him with the work and the cook.
And then she came through with the friends. Then my roommate was like, "Yo, Lo, you really might want to keep her around." Like,
oh wait, what? Let's talk about these friends, Mel.
I got one right here. She's single and beautiful.
Eligible bachelorettes.
Yeah. No, I always have beautiful women around me.
I know.
That are aligned with the same thoughts, same goals, I make sure that I don't make sure, it just happens. That's just what I'm about.
But for real, in all seriousness, I think to all my fellas out there who are just looking for something that's looking for you, man, you got to just tap in with
I think my bad, Los, to cut you off, but I think we need to be clear to the fellas and especially to the younger generation that there are women out there that can elevate you, that can help you get to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of men like see that part of it.
It's a real thing, and that deals with ego, and you got to just pull back, and sometimes you got to just, let somebody drive, man. And sometimes, the same way you have somebody has a manager at work, you got a manager at work, you got a boss, he got a boss, he got a boss. And the thing is, like in a relationship, you have to, I'm not good at everything, but what I'm not good at, she's great at. No, but the thing is, just like anybody who has a boss at work is just more like, what I'm not good at, she's great at. And I kind of had to take heed to that.
And likewise, right? Dynamic opposition. I tell people that all the time.
Yeah.
Like your weaknesses have to match her strengths, and her weaknesses have to match your strengths. It has to be like a
And you also have to be willing to take the back seat sometimes. She's a good driver.
Yeah, but it takes a lot for a man to allow that, and it also, as a woman, I had to make sure that I allowed him to feel like a man. So even though
that's another thing. These women are super. These women are very. I mean, they have a lot of man tendencies.
I think it's just
you have the women empowerment, right? Which obviously we're all for, but it comes with like an independence, masculine vibe sometimes that turns men off sometimes, because men want to feel like. Right. At the end of the day, I know men want to feel like the king of the castle. You know what I'm saying?
That's very important.
But that's not the style to allow men to feel like that anymore.
Right.
For real, yeah.
And I think that the reason why women do that is because they've been tarnished, and because they've been hurt, and because they've been, they've gone through things, and so they feel like I have to be this strong, like, empowerment doesn't mean that you have to boss your man around. It doesn't mean that you can't allow him to feel like a man. And so it's important to allow your man to feel like the king. And that's what I make sure I always do. I make sure I'm always commending him. I make sure I'm always complimenting him. I make sure that I always, even though I'm very directive, I always allow for him to feel like he's the one that's in charge, because that's just how it is. Like,
most women cannot come to terms like.
I'm okay with that because I know that he loves me, and I know that he respects me and honors me. And so I allow him to do
you allow
that.
yourself to be vulnerable,
right?
To work,
right? Because I know my vulnerability is not going to be taken advantage of, and that's important.
But it's crazy too, because that narrative sells, right? Like the narrative of like a female who doesn't need somebody. The narrative,
right.
Like, you hear it in the music. You see it on the gram, and
like the fabulous caption she was talking about.
It goes viral, man. But there's one thing between there's a fine line between internet and real life, and
it's blurred.
I think that's where we at in 2021. It's about dealing with real life, because when you ain't got outside, what you got? When you sitting there quarantining with wifey and you got four walls staring at you. Yeah, it's like.
Facts. Man, I feel like the internet is like real life though. Yeah. Like now, that's the problem is that as time goes forward, real life is less relevant and it's more about what you can portray on the internet. It's I mean, it's sad,
But you know what? And that's a great point. And for me, like, I like to. So some people will treat their Instagram, their internet personality like their highlight reel. Right. I feel like we go to the internet all the time where it's like, you know what? I was on the internet the other day. I was playing basketball and I had a horrible game, and I was like, I went to but the week before that I was on the gram hitting 3-pointers. Like I had a great game, but. You could go, you
got to showcase both.
Yeah,
because that's how people connect with you. They connect with the lowlights more than the highlights. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I barely use filters. Sometimes I do, but I barely use filters. I'm on there with my bags under my eyes. I really don't care.
See, that's dope. We got to make that cool again.
Yeah,
it's real life.
For me, it's important. I know that my followers are attending to the message more than what I look like. And I know that beauty and like sexiness, that does attract a lot more maybe, or a lot quicker, right? But for me, it's about who am I touching? Even if it's one person a day, I'm okay with that. So if I'm on Instagram with running and sending something that came to me, as long as it touched one person, I'm happy with it. So, but I know that's the only reason I'm on Instagram, because I know that there's someone out there that looks up to that, or that will listen to that, and it'll change their day or their aspect, or even
See, that separates you from 90% of women on Instagram, because they're looking for attention, they're looking for validation, they're looking for, I say, money's not the root of all evil anymore. It's attention. You know what I mean? So it's like. Shit is crazy, man.
That's why we do what we do in a relationship and outside of Instagram, when we're dealing with the not so good moments, we look at each other and we're like, this isn't about us. This is about the message we're here to provide for people. This is about the cycle we're breaking for our families. This is about the generation that's coming after us. So if we're really going to do this, we really got to do this, right? We're still going to face the hiccups. We're still going to face the moments where we are uncomfortable with each other because it's uncomfortable to unlearn shit that we've been dealing with for our whole lives. That
to break generational curses.
Right.
I mean, we both come from homes where, you know, our parents were divorced. Like, you know, so we both been through all of that. So it's like,
that's crazy how you say that, because I talked about this the other day, and I was like, you know, I grew up, my parents are still together, but I grew up, my mom being the breadwinner of the crib and getting taken advantage of and watching my mom stress. So I grew up, it made me right now, and I think it's affecting the way I operate in relationships. It makes me want to be over the provider. Like, it makes me want to be the provider and not over masculine, because I saw the opposite of that in the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that shit crazy.
It's tricky, and I think the only way that it's gonna work, a monogamous relationship, is when both of you guys are okay with being vulnerable with each other.
And just let him cheat once a year for his birthday.
Unless she's with me.
Only if I could cheat.
We'll do it at the same time. She'll be with me. We'll pick a hot one.
That's what I'm talking about.
But a relationship to last forever. Take notes. Now we're getting spicy. Now we're getting
spicy. Hold on, though. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about double standards of men and women, right?
As long as we acknowledge at the same time that men and women are wired differently, because we can't treat each other like we're the same species. We're different. We're the same. We're different.
But that's messed up. That's messed up. Why? Like, why a single man and a single woman? A single man is okay to run around and do whatever the hell they want, right? But a single woman, if they're like messing around with 2 or 3 guys, which I don't condemn that. Like, whatever you do is on you, right? But why is it there's such double standards when it comes to that? It's like, I'm going to ask my girl for a threesome, but if my girl asks me for a threesome, that shit's fucking weird. Or if my girl says, okay, we can have our threesome, but give me a hall pass so I can...
But let me ask you a question. Do women, when women counter with that, then why can't we do a threesome with 2 guys? Do women really want that, or do they just want to counter with their man?
No, I would want a hall pass. I wouldn't want a threesome with 2 guys. I would want a hall pass. You feel me? I would want him not to be there and whatever. But if you're asking me for that, why can't I ask you for something back, and why can't it be looked at in the same level? Why do I have to be looked at like, that's not ladylike, and that's not what women should do? You know what I mean? I feel like we're in a generation now where sex is very much a thing, right? It's okay, right? And so
which is fucked up, by the way, which is not good.
Why?
Because sex is. I mean, it's crazy how I'm getting a little more conservative as my years go, but like, sex is supposed to be sacred.
It is. It is very sacred.
It's not supposed to be treated like we're allowing it to be treated.
It is very sacred. And him and I are at a point where I don't know if I would ever be okay with us having a threesome, right? And just to be honest. But the discussion for me is on the woman's side, because I've seen many instances where a woman has been degraded for certain things when the person degrading the woman is all over the place. You know what I mean? Spreading themselves thin, doing whatever the hell they want, but they're judging the woman for maybe making 1 or 2 wrong decisions, or like just a fun decision. You know what I mean? Like, we all have needs. So I just don't like the double standard of it. That's what bothers me.
It's just sex is interpreted different with men and women. It's just instincts. Like,
I don't know. I mean, how do you counter that? What's the solve?
You know, like,
the solve is respecting each other when you're in a relationship, right? And respecting people when they're single. That's it. Not judging people when they're single and letting them do whatever the hell they want, right? But when you're in a relationship, I respect my man. I don't even, if a guy hits on me or contacts me, because there's always going to be more beautiful women than me, and someone that makes more money than me, and there's always going to be a man there's always going to be someone better than my partner, or someone less than whatever. But the main thing is to just respect each other while you're in a relationship. But while you're out of a relationship, mind your own business. It's none of your business. Like, whatever Los did before me, I don't even want to know about it.
I agree with you that the past is the past. Like,
I don't want to know about it. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. As long as while we're in this together and we're focused on one another, I'm not judging you for who you were with,
Facts.
how many girls you were with, whatever you decided
Hell yeah,
to do.
fellas, stop asking your girl what her body count is.
Yes.
Are you stupid? Like,
Stupid.
why are you gonna ask a question you don't even want to know? Like,
Yeah, you can't even handle that
Grow
answer.
up.
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
A lot of dudes can't handle being with a beautiful woman. That's one thing. Like, let me talk to the fellas. If you're with a beautiful woman, she's gonna have dick pics in her DM, bro. You're just gonna have to deal with it, bro. Like, you know.
There.
Shit, I told I was with my ex like earlier in the year, and this girl sent me a pussy pic. Crazy, the first time, and I showed my ex. I'm like, yo, you better act right. You see what's happening over here in my DMs? Like,
Nah, you get pussy pics, bro?
my bad if I blew up your spot, bro.
Do you get pussy pics?
Nah, I never got a pussy pic.
Okay, good. I really don't ever
not
get
there
dick pics
yet.
either, though. I don't. It's because of the way I portray myself online, though. I
you're not
never.
like an OnlyFans chick.
Nah.
Mel sends me them now, but I'm sitting right next to her when she does it.
I love it.
How do you feel about that though? Like women selling their bodies online to strangers for the bag.
No judgment, but you can do better. You could do better, sis.
You could get money other ways.
Yeah, there's so
That's
many
crazy.
other
From this
ways.
perspective, I like it because most women don't have it. They're like, do whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Talk
It
that
makes me,
truth, though.
yeah, it makes me feel uncomfortable. But because I'm a beautiful woman and I have a beautiful body, and I could be making mad money on OnlyFans, but I think that it just takes away from you as a woman and it degrades you. I'm not judging you, but that's just my personal thoughts on it. And there's so many other ways now to make money.
Yeah, just
I can see like during
post your
the
feet.
pandemic, you know what I'm saying? The pandemic put people in a chokehold, you know what I'm saying? And you don't know when we're going to come out of that, but, you know.
I don't know. I'd rather have a penny
we
in
got
my
options
account
now.
than sell myself for less. I'm sorry. Like, I just feel like we're so gifted as women. We're so talented. We're born with so many traits.
You guys, and it's scary, but you guys know this is the first generation where women know that you guys have the power.
Yes.
Like you guys run the world.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But it doesn't mean that we have to run the world by selling our bodies.
You're right.
We can run the world by speaking. We can run the world by our presence. A man always wants a girl next to them. You know, we're very organized. We're very well versed. We just have a certain energy to us to where men rather talk to us to close deals. Men rather discuss.
I read a thing. Sorry to cut you off, but I read
No, you're good.
there's things that women do better than men, and there's things that men do better than women, and I feel like we have to acknowledge these things. We're not the same.
Nope.
We're equal, but like men have their strengths and women have their strengths. I
Absolutely.
read something where it was like, if you in government, if you want to negotiate a peace treaty with two countries, it's best to have a woman do that.
Yeah.
So you need to put a woman in that position because she deals with emotion and things that
Yes.
behoove her to do that. You know what I mean? Like, so. You know,
Yeah.
I get a little scared with the future because, you know, gender roles are becoming non-existent. Everyone thinks everything is the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Pharrell said it best in his interview on
Drink champs.
Drink Champs with Nori. He said everybody's too zoomed in. You gotta zoom out. You gotta step out of the current motion, and you have to make a difference. And back to spirituality, we have to be putting something positive into what's going on right now, because the reason why everything's fumbling is because there's so much instant gratification. I want money. I want this. I want that, just like you said earlier. And so to me, I don't judge any woman that's on OnlyFans doing those things, but if it was one of my friends and I'm in a conversation, I would definitely steer them away from that. And I would tell them, okay, cool. Just like, you know, there's nurses that have been strippers. There's people that have, you know, that have had to have done that to make sure their family's okay. And I don't judge you, but as long as you have a plan out, you're already doing better, you know. But if you're stuck in that lifestyle for too long, it's not good for you.
yeah. Los, how do you feel about all this shit going on with, like, you know, fucking... I said this, like, social media is gonna end us. Like, the divide is so crazy in this country. I said, Elon Musk tweeted some shit and it really resonated with me. He said, the most likely because everything is for clicks and entertainment and engagement and comments, and whether it's Facebook, everything is social media driven, right?
Yeah.
So Elon Musk tweeted the other day, he said the most likely outcome is going to be whatever's the most entertaining outcome.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we're gonna if burning everything down and society crumbling is gonna be the most entertaining, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is scary because that's what the media and everyone's gonna amplify for clicks and engagement and shit like that.
Yeah, and
You know
that's
what I
a real thing. And that's, you know, you look at like like the 6ix9ine era, you know what I'm saying, where he was just going around going crazy but getting the most views, and but that's why I do what I do. Because and that's why no sleeping in the trophy room is so important to me, because it's like the anti that. And
it's integrity, and it's gonna take us longer to build some shit like that, because we could do the wild shit and get the engagement quick. But when you're moving with integrity, it takes a little longer. But it's worth it.
And that's been my journey. That's my truth. A 10-year run. That a 10+ year run. And that's that. I'm willing to take a long ride if I'm getting to where I need to go.
Right. Direction is more important than speed.
Yeah, man. And that's why me and Mel are on consistency, because I'm consistently trying. I'm consistently doing this, but it's for permanent. You know what I'm saying? Like permanence. Practice doesn't build perfect. Practice builds permanence, because we want to permanently be on this vibe. We want to permanently be in our fulfilling our purpose. And for me, dude, like I want to evoke change. I want to make an impact. I want to change somebody's life early. Like I think about the 16, 17, 18-year-old me who was just sitting at the computer looking for something that was looking for me. And it's just that's not something that's fly by night, so I want to permanently be in that. And I think that the internet is a fly by night place, man. Things are trends. Trends end, and trends start again, man. But if you stay true to yourself, stay true to what is true to you, then you end up right where you need to be, man. And you can see, just talking about 6ix9ine, like you can see where he's at, and you see his trials and tribulations. But you look at somebody who has never changed, never switched up, never changed their message. Things live forever if it's true. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You could look at it 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Right. In a good way or a bad way, because, in the negative way, 6ix9ine is going to be where he's at forever. He's going to be labeled what he's labeled forever. His decisions that he made in 1 year are going to affect him for the rest of his life.
Right. Absolutely. So them tattoos.
And back to but back to Fab, it just brings me to that. It's like people were pointing out the negative and like, oh, he cheated on her, oh, he abused her, oh, this and this and that. But to me, I applauded him for actually getting to that space and actually being able to put that on Instagram and provide that message for people that look up to him and be like, damn, Fab is saying this. For someone that has been in hip hop for so long and the message has always been fuck bitches, fuck hoes, get money. For him to put that on Instagram, I applauded him. I didn't look at the past. Of course, the message is not, okay, you got to deal through a bunch of stuff. You got to be someone's ride or die. No, that's not the message. But to me, the reason why I was so happy about it was to see that someone like Fabulous finally came out and
stood up.
Yeah.
And he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He knew he could have put way more stuff in the caption, but he put what he put, and he hit post. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, and that's beautiful.
Everything is intentional.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Intentional, you know
and I think there's a shift in our culture now, and I think that the key players are people like us who sound and feel like us, who aren't afraid to be like, I'm like Los and I speak about it all the time. We're like, if we were in high school, if we were in middle school, there's, the lunch tables, and it's the popular crowd here, and it's the jocks over here, and Los and I are
the
like...
The freestyle table, grinding with the pens, that was my table.
Right, and Los and I were like, we're at this table where we don't care who we are. We're friends with all of y'all. We're just here to make a difference. And that's the table I always want to be at. I always want to be at a table or around a group of people who want to make a difference and who actually give a shit about you.
I just got to interject real quick because I was that guy that was doing grinding at the table.
Crazy, right? Crazy with the pen, and then I'll add in the scratch. The scratch.
Yo, 1, 2.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yo, so I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys a question. You guys have been together for how long? You said
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Okay, so I know you guys have, at this point in your relationship, you have a song. Don't say it yet. There's a song that, is there a song that you guys always turn to that maybe was early in the relationship? Is there one song that you guys have like in your head that?
The Drake song. What's the Drake song?
Which the Ty Dolla $ign joint?
Yeah.
Yeah, the After Dark. Well,
yeah.
I think After Dark was probably the first ones that like we like when we was just drunk as hell on Venice Beach, and we were just vibing. And that was probably one of the first records that we like was really vibing crazy to. But I mean, there's a few records.
You guys have similar musical interests?
Oh,
very much.
Yeah, big time.
Very much.
You know,
we love old school hip hop, real music.
On the way here, you would have thought we was at a '90s party.
Yeah,
but nah, man.
Listening to Nas,
but
Jay-Z.
she's way more cultured in Jamaican tune. You know, Mel's been to Haiti mad time, so she's. I would say Mel's way more cultured than I am. So it's
as far as like internationally, like
yeah. And so it's great. It's great to learn, you know, just other sounds. Because me, I'm just straight hip hop,
straight New York.
I'm
but you're Puerto Rican. You have like the salsa vibe.
I got that too. You know, I'm big on salsa. She knows I'm big on like just jazz vibes. Like it's a soul thing for me. So it's like it doesn't even matter what it is.
As long as it's soulful.
If it connects.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'll tell you one song too. What's her name? LMA.
Boot up. Oh, boot up.
Yo, 2018, his birthday, July 6th. He FaceTimed me 87 times singing Boot Up to me. Damn. And I was like, all right, this is the one.
I was off that deli on
goals, bro. For sure. Fucking goals. I want to FaceTime someone 87 times. I don't think I'll FaceTime someone ever 87. Damn.
It was a good night. It was a good night.
It's inspiration right there.
It was a good night. I was trying to make a point. I was like, yo, listen, I know you across the country. We boot up right now. Boot up. You better not.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, we definitely have the same taste in music. I catch myself listening now way more to the music that the artists that I work with are creating. The music group that we've formed, GVGM, I catch myself listening to more of the stuff that's not even out yet.
Your artist? Or what, like, give me an example.
I work with Chachi. She's
dope. She did a song with my boy Brian.
Yes, that's my boy. Brian is part of GVGM. So
it's Brian.
Yeah, it's Brian. It's Maroon Rhythms.
Maroon, yeah.
Yes, it's Orlando. He plays like 7 instruments. He's our musician. It's myself, and it's Bea. He's French. He's a producer, and I'm working very closely with Chachi. I'm working very closely with my cousin, Dijiania, and I'm very excited for her because she's got great music. But yeah, I'm always listening to the music that we've created. I've also created with Audrey Nix. And I'm looking.
You aren't in the shot straight. You're good. Yeah, she bear crawled across my living room, fam.
I asked you to.
He said, crawl over.
I asked you to.
Yeah.
You asked her to crawl, fam?
Yeah.
Well, I was just making sure she wasn't in the shot.
Yeah, but they're talking, so it's straight. It's cool.
You're good.
Yes.
But I'm blessed because, you know, like recently I produced a video for Trap Manny, ATL, and Ruby Rose, and they have a song coming out that's fire. Damn. It's so fire.
What kind of vibe was the video?
It's a vibe.
Are you like, guys, let's not do the strip club vibe this time. Let's do something else.
No, they want the strip club.
Of course.
Come on.
Yeah.
We had 3 strippers in the video. Come on. Yeah. But it was in the song it's gonna hit. It's gonna go. I already know it. So I always catch myself listening to those tracks versus what's
Got
out.
you.
But I definitely listen to way more Spanish music.
Than English music?
Yeah, but when
that's how I am. I think English, I'm so over hip. I'm so disgusted. I mean, I don't want to sound like the old head right now, but just the climate of regular hip hop right now is.
I'm with you, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I'm disgusted.
Yeah,
I'm there every other week.
Yeah,
where I'm just like, I hate y'all.
Yeah,
like for real, man. Yeah. Just cause of I'm somebody who wants to leave something behind. I want to teach people something. Like
you know what it is, bro. We grew up on
amazing
listening to the drug dealers, like the dude on the drug. These kids are listening to the drug addicts. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's a different vibe.
Somebody else just said that. I forgot who it was.
It's crazy, and you know.
They're all cracked out. Everyone's on perks like that. Like, wow, when does opiates become cool? Like being strung out, like on like
right. And you grow up on Jay-Z when he's like teaching you how to be a gentleman, and he's teaching you like he's talking about women, but he's talking to them in a classic way, and he's talking
and this is another thing I said back in I sound like an old head, but back in
all good.
Back in the shit when we listened to when there's exceptions obviously, but when artists talk to women, they would imply some shit. They wouldn't say it directly. If they were gonna say some nasty shit, they would say it in a way where it was implied and not direct.
Right.
These new artists would be like, bitch, I wanna fuck the shit. Like, it's like lowest common denominator. There's no
It's low energy.
slick shit to it. There's no slick talk to it. Like,
give me your number, I'll give you your name. Now it's just like, I just want to smash. What's up?
Yeah.
And it's like,
I'm gonna beat it up.
I'm throwing money. And you know what's crazy
There's no
is
exchange.
and that's translating into real life culture. These men nowadays, and that's the problem with, and I understand women's gripe. Like, the men nowadays think they could just like buy women. Like, they're like, everything is a strip club. Like, I'm gonna just buy you. Like, throw money, whether it's show off my material shit and just buy you. Like, there's no. Whatever.
That's why we gotta. The old heads gotta, continue to push the culture forward, because there's still people that look up to us, and there's still people that are like, damn, I really want to be like Mellow.
Look, the shit is gonna come back around. Like, you saw with the pandemic, it just shut shit down. It shut all that shit down, and I feel like, I was kind of happy to see some things kind of like just kind of die out and kind of just
like the clown, the clout shit. Like, you think that'll die down? You think? I
think so. I think so. I feel a shift, and I'm praying for it. I feel a shift. I'm very excited for it, because I think when things are stripped away from us, the only thing that we have next to us are what? Family, things that make us feel safe, our homes, the stillness, the time that we have to meditate and talk to whoever we believe in, right? Those are the things that are constant, right? Those things are always in the equation. What is in and out of the equation? The partying, the people that come in and out that don't really give a shit about you, the people that might hire you just because they need you and they don't really care who you are. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what really taught us in 2020 was constant people, constant things, constant feelings, and that's what I'm riding with all year.
Yeah,
to bring it back around.
Because when you got nothing else, kind of, going on outside, it's like it's just you, yourself, and whoever's around you.
And people turn when they're in that situation, people turn to medication, whether it's drugs, whether it's smoking, drinking, gambling, porn, whatever it is. People are pulled. They need to consume something. They need to do something. Some people do it. They medicate with work. They medicate with travel. They medicate because they can't just sit still and be with their own thoughts. You know what I mean? Like.
So, if you're at home, just come consume this on the rocks.
Facts. We need y'all to consume. Don't get it twisted.
Miami on the rocks,
man. Miami on the rocks. No sleeping in the trophy room.
Thank you, guys. Plug your IGs again.
Ladies first.
Melly Andrea, MELI.ANNDREA.
Yo, make sure you follow my man KC Chopz at KC Chopz. You heard?
You know the vibe.
Follow your boy Los, man, at Los Antonio, LOSANTOINO, at No Sleeping in the Trophy Room as well. Biggest motivational conversation.
At Eresdiosa, ERES.DIOSAE. Platform for women, all women in the industry, whether you're a nurse or an artist or makeup artist, whatever you are, we're here for you.
There it is, y'all. Boom.